Ahoy hoy, it's Michaela from Team Retro, where we like retro games, we like roguelikes, and we like the devices that bring them to us. Now, I've been using my new OLED Switch model for about a week, and right before the release date of the OLED Switch, I pre-ordered both the Satisfy and the SkullnCo Switch grips. And the Satisfy grip isn't coming until November, but the SkullnCo grip came about a week after I ordered it, which was a surprising turnaround time. So, after being gripless for about a week, I decided to put this thing through its paces and actually give it a proper review. So here I am unboxing the unit. SkullnCo opted to go for a grip model instead of a full case this time, and I actually applaud that decision because the grip is actually made out of a pretty hard plastic, and it's really close to what Satisfy actually offers. And it looks like SkullnCo opted to go with a similar foam to what Satisfy does as well to keep your Switch from getting scratched. And it clips into place with this removable clip that you take off to put the grip on and then you put back on in order to secure the grip in place on the Switch. And my camera's not picking it up, but you see this little lip in between two pieces of plastic that says Switch OLED. You can actually unscrew this, take that out, and use this grip on a regular Switch model. Now, this grip case offers interchangeable grips. You have smaller ridged ones, and then you have really thick ones. And on the unit itself is a mid-size trigger grip. And you could swap these out at will depending on what kind of grip that you need. If you're looking for portability, you can opt for the smaller grip. But if you really are playing a shooter or something heavier and you want some longevity, you can actually opt for these much thicker grips that come with the unit. And they're pretty easy to take on and off. Now, in the box, you also get some replacement rubber pieces that are held onto the unit by 3M tape. And the curious thing about these is that you don't actually need them right away. There are actually directions that come with this grip that say really to only use them if your Switch grip starts to feel loose. My Switch grip felt fine in my OLED model, so I ended up not using them. And just a quick note here, don't discard this cardboard that the Neo Grip comes in because the reverse side actually gives you directions on how to swap out the grip pads in the back as well as how to take the grip on and off. So let's go ahead and take the grips off of the back of the unit and put the smaller ones on, and they do slide off pretty easily, but they're also pretty snug, and that first initial pull is kind of tough, so there really isn't much danger that these grips are going to slide or fall off during use unless these tabs in the back are broken. And the other grips just slide right on, click into place. Just make sure you keep sliding until you hear that click and the pads will be good to go. And here's the Neo grip with the smaller grips put on. So let's go ahead and follow the directions and put this on the Switch. So first thing we need to do is take this little tab off and let's grab our Nintendo Switch. So the directions tell you to take one Joy-Con off, which I actually don't like about this grip because it adds an extra step and generally makes it just a little less seamless to transition from handheld play to docked mode. Now, I actually grabbed a Hori D-Pad Pro because when I got the OLED model, I wanted to try a modification that I wanted to call Fire Mario, with the D-Pad Pro on the left in red and the right Joy-Con in white. However, the Hori SwitchPad Pro did not fit into this unit. It did go in, it was a very snug fit, but then when I went to clip the top part on, I noticed that I wasn't getting a snug fit, so then I turned the unit around, I looked, and there was just a very noticeable gap between the Switch grip and the Switch, probably caused by the fact that the Hori D-Pad Pro is actually slightly thicker than a regular Joy-Con, and this Switch grip is fitted very carefully to the Nintendo branded Joy-Cons. So if you have one of these Hori D-Pad Pros, it's not going to work with this unit. However, once we went ahead and put an official Nintendo Joy-Con in, everything fit perfectly, everything was snug, and that gap that was caused by the Hori D-Pad Pro not fitting was gone, and it looked good and it felt good. So let's get into a little bit of gameplay with this grip and go through some more impressions. So once Nintendo announced the Animal Crossing DLC and the final update, I decided to tear apart my entire island and start over, which also helped me to get some impressions of the OLED Switch. Because until I got this grip, I really wasn't playing this that much. And once my OLED Switch finally did come in, I found myself using kickstand mode a lot more than I ever have in all the years that I've owned a Nintendo Switch. And I never thought that a kickstand would be a game changer, but playing my Nintendo Switch on a desk or on a table with a Pro Controller is actually now one of my favorite ways to play this device. And as long as you stick with the smallest size handles for this Switch grip, you'll be able to use the kickstand in the OLED Switch with no problem whatsoever. However, if you take out the smaller size handles and you opt for one of the bigger sizes, you are actually not going to be able to use the kickstand with this Switch grip on. You'll actually have to take the grip off if you want to use kickstand mode. As you can see here, it just doesn't work that well. I can't prop the Switch up in any angle, even with the kickstand out. So for the rest of this review, and for the rest of the time that I'm really using the SkullnCo Switch grip, I'm just going to use the smaller grips because I really find the versatility of being able to use the kickstand beats out any extra comfort that the bigger grips can give. And finally, here's some footage of me playing some retro games and some roguelikes with this grip on. And really, I don't believe there's too much more to say about this unit because in each of the games that I played, from Mega Man to Super Mario Bros. To roguelikes like Dead Cells, Moonlighter, and Hades, while I had the grip on, I found the Switch being very comfortable to hold, especially because I went a full week without a grip, and I forgot just how great these little grips feel in my hand, especially for long play sessions. And one of the things I really like about the SkullnCo brand over Satisfy is the fact that you can actually buy replacement Switch grip handles depending on the color Joy-Cons you want to use. So I'll probably go on SkullnCo's website and order a set of blue handles to go with my Zelda Joy-Cons. And I'm going to save a lot of the critique of the actual Switch itself for my final review that I'm going to publish once I've gotten enough time with the unit. But I do have to say, playing Hades on this screen is just gorgeous, especially the way the colors pop and the blacks are just deep, deep black. Now, my very first grip case was a SkullnCo, so I actually got a carrying case with it, and this new grip actually does fit in that carrying case. So if you're like me and you have one of these old SkullnCo cases kicking around, you are more than welcome to use it with this grip because it is compatible. Alright, let's wrap things up and talk about Commendations and Condemnations when it comes to this SkullnCo case. So let's start with Commendations, the positive traits about this Switch grip. It is very easy to take on and take off for switching between handheld and dock mode. It is comfortable, it does what it's supposed to do, and it makes the Switch much easier to hold for longer play sessions. I do like that there are different types of grip options available to you, as well as different color grips if you wanted to mix and match to match your different Joy-Cons. This does work with the OLED model's kickstand if you use the smaller grip handles, and this thing is very compatible and versatile. You can use your existing SkullnCo carrying case, and it also includes options if you have the old school Switch and you don't want to get the OLED model. You can still get this grip. Now let's talk about condemnations, things about this Switch grip that aren't necessarily the best. There are a couple of losable parts on this grip. For example, that clip on the top got misplaced a couple of times already during my time using this grip. You need to use the smaller grips in order to use the kickstand, otherwise you have to take the unit off, which is a little bit harder to do because in order to take the unit on and off, you have to remove one of the Joy-Cons and then clip it back in. And you can't use anything like a Hori D-Pad Pro or any third-party Joy-Cons with this grip. You can only use the official Joy-Cons. Overall, though, I believe that this Switch grip is more positives than negatives, especially considering that the Satisfy grip won't be out until November, and this is probably one of the best Switch grips on the market that you can get right now and you'll have within a week. So, if you're on the fence on whether you should get this grip or not, or you just got your OLED Switch model and you need a grip for it, while there are some small inconveniences that do come with this Switch grip, overall, this is a very solid choice. And considering it retails for cheaper than the Satisfy at $20, that might be the sweet spot as to what you might be willing to spend for one of these grip cases. And there's a lot of value here for $20 with the 3 different grip sizes as well as the grip case itself. I'm going to do a couple more impressions videos and I'm going to have a final review of the OLED Switch model, so please look forward to that in the coming days. And that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you think about the SkullnCo Neo Grip case in the comments below. And if this video was helpful to you in any way, please be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, bye for now, and don't stop believing.